also joined today by John Andruski, who has, graciously come out to this brewery on a Sunday. Normally doesn't do that. Right, Johnny?
And I'm drinking.
And he's drinking, ladies and gentlemen.
And like us, this is our second visit here as a podcast, and John, this is also your second time here with us.
We are.
Are you coming here? Are you coming here for the podcast or for the beers? Or both? There you go. Good answer.
We are at we're at Alloy Brewing in Coon Rapids. They have allowed us once again to come out here and do our podcast. Dave the beer tender is back there. We are, of course, drinking their fine. How would I put it? Variety cornucopia.
Cornucopia. That's
it's good. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
almost Thanksgiving.
That's a
cornucopia
quality word.
Yeah,
Quality
of
word.
beers. I tried their tropical. What was it?
Tropical wit.
Wit, and it was great. I also have a flight, which I'll be drinking during the podcast. I got 6 other beers. We'll talk about those later. You guys, Stevens, you went with the stout first.
I did, yeah. I had the Brimley Stout, actually.
Yeah,
and
big stout guy.
I am. So obviously that kind of, I was drawn towards that one, and it's great, dark, thick, smooth, just what you'd expect. And and just a note that they have, it says it has a lower ABV compared to maybe some other stouts, but it gives you the ability to have a few. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you're probably going to have a few.
We'll see. And also, of course, just when we get out to these breweries, I do like to get the flights, so I do have a small flight as well. Just to, especially, we've been here before, but especially going to new breweries, it gives you the chance to just try a few and see what you like.
And Sterling, what'd you go with first? Did you get a first
I did the
beer?
flight. I did the
you did the whole flight. Yeah.
6-beer flight. I did not get a beer.
Okay.
And I've only tasted the rye. I managed to get all of these except for the Oktoberfest I haven't had.
How did you forget that?
I don't know.
Well, it's not October anymore. So
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Alloy, the one I was very disappointed to see that they didn't have the white noise still on tap.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites from our last podcast. And I know that might actually come up when we get into the awards and as far as favorite beers.
There's a beer from here that they don't have on tap right now. It's going to come up in our awards segment later on.
Another one.
I'm a big fan of. And
okay.
Of course, these craft breweries, they rotate their stuff. They have their basics, but they rotate their stuff. So,
Yeah.
So, let's get into it, boys. We had our last podcast at Omni. It was the last game of the season. It was a loss. We're going to go into some stuff about the season right now. I think we're going to do some stat stuff. We're starting. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry. I just want to say we can also find us on BGN Network, Beautiful Game Network, iTunes, Spotify, Sprecher, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Miss anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
MySpace.
MySpace? No, we're not on MySpace.
Still working on that one.
Still working on that one.
Yeah, they haven't accepted us.
Okay.
They haven't accepted it. Yeah, exactly. So BGN Network. Oh, and thanks for reminding me, Dave. It is Veterans Day today, so we'd like to thank all the veterans for their service. I've got a couple of family members who are in the service, and I'd like to thank them for doing what they do to make this country what it is today. So, on that note, let's get into it. Stats. We're going to start off with Dave, the stats guy.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's appropriate. I think I kind of just use that as a title. I don't know if I'm actually a true stats guy or not. But
we're going to call you Dave, the stats guy.
That's for this podcast. That's my title. But no, I think basically. So from the Minnesota United website, they actually compile a little bit of list of the top, the 2018 season by the numbers they called it. And this article was from TJ Gulechin. I hope I didn't batter that name up too much, but yeah, I think the one that jumped out at me the most, and maybe for good reason, it's number one on their list. It's just the total attendance at TCF Bank Stadium this year for the United was 4,006, just over 406,000, 406,382. Now, when you look at that as an average over the 17 games, that's over 23,000 people a game. So I know we touched on this before, but that's just an amazing attendance. Yes, is it skewed a little bit by the 50K to Midway? Yes, it is. But still, 13 of the 17 home games had over 20,000 people.
Yeah.
So without a doubt, the attendance was just huge.
And that's with the upper deck not being open.
Correct.
Right.
So, and there's some games during the season where I think they could have opened the upper deck and they would have had people up there. You know,
Yeah.
So going into next year, of course, with Allianz Field, Dave? What's the capacity at Allianz?
19-4.
Okay, so we won't hit that attendance number next year.
No.
Oh. And I mean, I suppose that's a negative in a way, but at the same time, you know, I think it's a safe number considering, you know, it's a nice round number to kind of make sure you get a sellout.
Yeah.
The stadium doesn't look too empty on those
No.
nights, Wednesdays especially, where their games don't typically hit a certain point.
Yeah, and then so it is kind of interesting. So maybe they set the bar a little too high as far as attendance, but at least you know. And when you talk about that 19,400 capacity at Allianz next year, that's not a small number.
No.
You know, across the country as far as a soccer-specific stadium.
It's a nicer stadium, too. Johnny?
Let me add, if they had the upper bowl opened, people would have bought the cheap seats upper deck and not the lower bowl would not have been sold out, in my opinion.
Well, maybe.
I mean, people are going to go for the cheaper seat.
But there were some games, though, that you could have done.
Well,
you could have opened it up at the last
Some
minute.
games, yes, but there were some that probably only would have go last minute, but
Yeah.
you know who probably says no to that?
Well, the University of Minnesota says no. Of course they do. But, so those are some attendance stats. Dave?
Yeah, rolling on. So, and there's just about 5 points that
Okay.
that the article made, and the next one I like as well. It's another positive, and I don't want I don't want to keep tooting the horn of the Loons, but because we are going to be critical at times, especially later on today in this
course.
podcast.
Yeah.
But another one I like is the 49 goals scored. Now that's not a huge number, but I think what's important is it did eclipse last year's total of 47.
What are we looking at per game, though?
Well, quick math: 49 is divided by 17. You're 2.5 a game.
2.5. That's not
Roughly.
bad. Not bad.
It's not terrible.
Not
Yeah,
terrible.
so I guess the key is that it eclipsed the number from last year.
Okay.
Even though that 49 is not hugely
Huge, yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
Impressive. I think they slowed down. They were on a much better pace
Oh.
early on in the season.
Oh.
Was it this year that we saw something like the Loons were actually voted one of the most watchable teams
Yes,
in the NFL?
they were,
Because not only are they giving up, they're giving up goals as much as they're scoring. They were scoring 5 goals a game and giving up 5 at the same time.
And we'll
then
get
they
into this
slowed
when we
down.
talk about our awards. There was a point in the season, halfway, like in July, where they were scoring a lot of goals. I mean, we were on a great pace, and then
It
we
fizzled.
totally tanked.
And there are theories as to what caused that tank.
Voodoo.
One.
Voodoo.
Voodoo is certainly one that's less popular.
How about shuffling up the team a little bit in
Well,
mid-season?
yeah.
So
That's-
adding new names,
Sure.
Removing names.
removing a
Moving
big
names.
name or two, injuries,
Somebody broke a mirror.
a lot of
I don't
factors.
Yeah.
know. You know.
I stopped attending games. Wait, no.
Oh,
I did miss a few games after
you
that.
missed
sort of
you
thing.
missed some
Couple.
games this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think how many games I got to this year, and I know I'm in a ballpark between say 5 and 8. I'm somewhere in there.
I got to a couple.
Yeah, so I did better than I have in a long time as far as soccer games in Minnesota. In fact, I may never have gone to more games than I have this year ever in the
Wow.
past.
I will tell you this, but I'm going to a lot of games next year when they're at Allianz Field because I want to be there.
Yeah, just have your credit card ready. It might cost you a little bit on the secondary
I
market.
don't care.
No, but anyways, yeah, we'll keep rolling along with the 2018 season by the numbers. The next one that they brought up is the 33 Miguel Ibarra appearances, which is obviously it's a club record for appearances. 33 out of 34 games he made an appearance in. Now that was as a result of probably some early injuries, so it was kind of out of necessity. But he didn't, I think, make the most with those appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll actually talk on this when we get to Manny Lagos' interview.
Yes.
I pulled out some comments he made of Miguel, and really, if it weren't for Darwin, Miguel would be top of the list for MVP this season.
He would be, yeah.
For our team.
Yeah, and then do you remember what game he missed and the reason he missed that game?
No.
To be fair, I don't know that I could have come up with it off the top of my head. I'm looking at it here. It was the June 29th home game against FC Dallas, and he missed that due to a red card suspension.
Red card?
Yeah, I don't
that's
remember.
right. He did get a red card.
Yeah.
He got a red card.
Was it dissent that he got that red card for? I think it was.
think
It was
so,
something
yeah.
dumb.
It was something stupid.
But I mean, it was like heat of the moment. It made sense, but
Yeah,
that was a dumb move.
Calvo-esque kind
Yeah.
of red card like that. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. And then you kind of rolling right along, you brought it up, Darwin Quintero. So one stat from Quintero that jumps out, and we'll get into more, I'm sure, but is the 15 Darwin Quintero assists. And
That's
that's despite missing the first five games of the year before he got here. So
Well, what else can you say about the guy? You
not
really
much.
can't. I mean,
Oh yeah, there's no. I mean, he's been. He's the one sign that maybe this organization can sign players.
Yeah.
If they really, really want to.
exactly.
I mean, he should be in the conversation for newcomer of the year. He's not.
I
And
find
it's
that shocking.
unfortunate.
I find
Yeah,
that shocking.
I found it shocking too when I saw that he wasn't in the conversation for newcomer of the year, because if we didn't have him, we wouldn't have won as many games as we did.
Yeah, but it's Zlatan,
Yeah. Okay.
and and then of course Carlos Vela at LA, and it.
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Wayne is,
Well, Wayne Rooney. Yeah.
and Wayne.
in my own opinion, if there's anybody, because he did help that from
Oh yeah, I mean DC was like light
the
switch.
dumps.
Yeah.
I don't think Vela did anything in LA. I have a feeling Vela's going to win it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wayne in DC, that was complete turnaround.
Yeah.
I was pushing for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to kind of put it in perspective, obviously the Loons have a short 2-year history in the MLS, but he, of course, Quintero broke that assist record. The previous mark was Molino's 9 last year.
Jeez.
And
Haven't talked about that guy for a while.
no,
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
hopefully we will
Where's he
later
been?
on.
He's going to come up in my comments.
Yeah, are we gonna? I know we're gonna talk about people we want to see back next year, people we don't. I mean, I think he'd be
Yeah.
on the former list, but we'll see. So,
Sorry,
and just
I do have to note, Dave the beer tender has joined us. He's drinking coffee.
It's a rough day. It's a rough day.
So what were you doing yesterday, Dave?
I attended a wedding with my lovely wife.
Oh, what wedding was it?
It was her best friend, so she was in the wedding.
Okay.
I knew 2 people there,
Okay.
so I had a day off and I decided to start drinking early,
Okay.
and I continued to drink late.
Well, there you go. I had a buddy at a wedding yesterday. Was the name of the groom Tony?
No,
Okay, there you go. I
it would have been hilarious if it was.
thought it would have been great if it was.
are you talking about Nels?
Nels' friend, yeah.
Okay.
I was getting married yesterday, Tony, and I was thinking when he's like wedding, I was like, it might have been. So you're drinking coffee today?
I am definitely drinking coffee today.
With Bailey's?
No.
No Bailey's for you.
This is straight
Bailey's for you,
black
sir.
coffee.
Nice for you.
Is it anything special, or is it literally like Folgers?
Oh no, I don't. I drink Cameron's coffee that's roasted in chocolate.
Cool. Shot.
So
Local stuff.
local stuff.
Keeping it local, man.
Local stuff.
I think I've had that.
Yeah, Cameron's is Target, Cub. It's everywhere. I order off their website, and I order like this 10-pound bags of full beans and grind them up at home and bring them in here. So
Nice. Well, as you see, Dave, it's a little cold outside, so
Yes.
we're not doing it outside today. We're
Yes.
doing it inside today.
I hope you're not going to sit outside today.
No, it's terrible.
Wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, last time we were here, it was nice out
was.
there. It was great.
That was June.
June, yeah.
Yeah, ended up with a sunburn after that one.
You did?
Won't have
You got sunburned?
on one side of my face. I won't have that problem today though.
Sunburn in the podcast. There you go. That's the way it works.
I don't